This is In the Parks and Beyond, the podcast where we dive deep into the magical world of Disney, explore the thrills of Universal, and venture beyond the parks. Join us for insider tips, expert insights, and world-class recommendations on the best rides, shows, and hidden gems. We'll take you on culinary journeys with top food picks and share exciting adventures from destinations around the world. So, pull your lap bars down and head into the parks with us as we embark on this roller coaster we call life.
Hey everyone, I'm Jared. Thanks for coming back in with us.
And I'm Josh, and in this episode, we're going to talk about the D23 announcements. So with that being said, Jerry, I have to know, what was your key takeaways from the announcements? Whether it was the movies, the park announcements, anything. What was your top 5, let's say, your takeaways?
All right. Well, I will say my first takeaway is Disney is finally responding to Universal in a way. So that's one of my takeaways from it. I think it's, I guess that's kind of a strong statement saying that they're responding to Universal because Universal's coming out with a theme park that's going to change things. So it's hard to compete with that, but I think they're on the right path finally. There's just so much to dive into, honestly. I mean, I'm excited for a lot of it. I mean, I love, can't wait for the movies that are coming around. I can't wait for the theme park stuff that's coming. There's just so much to I don't even talk about and digest, to be quite honest with you. What about you?
I mean, I kind of have to agree. I mean, there's no way they're going to compete really with Universal unless they announce the 5th gate. Just because the lands alone at you can compete with the lands, but the draw to Epic Universe is that it's a whole new park.
You got it.
So, and I don't think that any of these new lands announced are going to open until probably 2030.
Yep.
So that'll be when the Epic Universe hype goes down anyways, and the attendance would have evened out.
Exactly. Yep.
I feel like, honestly, that Universal will build a whole new expansion by the time the lands that Disney announced are built. Sure. The only one that we know we have a timeline for right now is Tropical Americas, replacing Dino Land, which they said 2027.
Yep.
Which, honestly, I think is not a terrible add-on to
not at all.
Animal Kingdom. I think it kind of fits the theme because, I mean, you went from, you go Africa, Asia, so then you'll have the Tropical America, so it ties it all together. I'm definitely...
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think, too, I think it's going to add a lot more for folks who, the argument's there for some that Animal Kingdom is only a half-day park, which as you know me, I've made my comments in the past about Animal Kingdom, but I don't agree with that statement, honestly. But
I'm in agreement with you. I think that it's a full-day park. You can say it's a half-day park, but if you do everything in the park, I mean, the park closes at 6 o'clock right now. It's a full-day park.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. Especially if you have kids. So, as you may know who follow me on social media, I was just there recently this past Tuesday with my son. We were just kind of, even though we met some friends who were coming down from Massachusetts, but I had like a little bit of a new perspective of Animal Kingdom, I would probably say. More appreciation, I should say. Because, I think that was the most time I've ever spent one day in Animal Kingdom, and I didn't probably get to have more than half the stuff, like ride-wise, or like, it was just more of just like enjoying the moment, so which was really cool because there's just so much more to do. So I guess I have to backpedal on my old comments. And with the announcements too coming, I think it's going to be some great additions, especially Indiana Jones. I'm actually pretty excited about that. I mean, I'm sad to lose, the dinosaur ride, but pretty excited, especially that it's going to be something new, not just something that's already around like out Disneyland. So I'm pretty excited for it.
That's exactly how I feel. Like, I'm sad that dinosaurs leaving, and I wish that it wasn't, but at least it's not being replaced with something stupid.
No, exactly.
Like, at least it's not Great Movie Ride becoming Mickey's Runaway Railway.
Exactly. Hey, that's fair point. It's at least it's something that's going to fit the environment. Is the best way to put it.
I mean, I'm really excited about Monsters Inc. coming to the parks in Orlando.
Yes.
From that coaster that was announced, I really hope that actually comes to fruition. It isn't like dumbed down or chopped, because I have always wanted a roller coaster themed to the door scene.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And I was actually kind of make a comment too, just kind of going back to like we were just talking about with like how they're not going to like compete with Universal. The reason I kind of made the statement of like I feel like they're finally trying to come back at Universal, whereas I feel like they're finally listening to Disney fans again with giving us stuff that we've been asking for. Like Villains Land, Monsters Inc. Land, finally doing something down it. So I think they're finally appeasing the crowd, if you will. Like if that makes sense.
Yeah,
I
that
don't know
makes
if that
total
makes
sense.
sense.
Yeah.
But like, how do you compete with a new park unless you're not, releasing a new park yourself? You have to appease your audience, and I think that's what they're trying to do at this point.
Now, one of the announcements, I'm glad you brought Villains Land up. Like, I'm super excited about Villains Land. I definitely think that that'll fit in the area. And if they don't do a Cusco's and Emperor's New Groove coaster,
Sure.
when she goes, pull the lever, like that has to be there. If they don't do it, it'll be a missed opportunity. But I think that one of the announcements I don't think fits in Magic Kingdom is Cars.
I agree.
I honestly was hoping that they would have built and I know people are going to say, well, why do you want the same thing copy and pasted into Walt Disney World? Because it's awesome. Walt Disney World has the space to make a even better Radiator Springs. And I think that would have benefited in Hollywood Studios as well with Monstropolis. I think that those two would have been huge additions together.
Fair. Yeah, I'm still kind of figure out why they put it in Magic Kingdom, honestly, because I mean, I know there's like a huge stir up right now, but like Tom Sawyer's Island going away for it and stuff like that. So,
but let's be honest. How many times did someone go walk into Magic Kingdom and say, "I'm going to Tom Sawyer Island"?
Probably 1 out of 100. And
so it's just the hype of joining the crowd of saying, "Oh no!"
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not bent out of shape about it. Like, it'll definitely be a different feel.
Very, very different.
Very, very different feel. But I'm almost kind of thinking that there's further plans that they haven't said anything in regards to why they're doing what they're doing, essentially. So
I really hope that the Liberty Bell gets some life somewhere, though.
Yes.
The steamboat.
Yes.
It is.
I agree.
Even though it's on a track, it is actually seaworthy. So it's possible that they could move it somewhere else, use it to transport guests back and forth from Magic Kingdom. Just give it something.
Something. Yep. No, that's fair. That's definitely fair. Not pretend it's like a restaurant or something in Magic Kingdom.
I mean, you could do like a Louisiana style restaurant with it.
I guess
it works. I mean, you could put it somewhere.
I have a random idea there.
Just saying.
I'm not mad about that. That's going like away. Like I know some people are really like bent out of shape about it and stuff like that, but to me, it's like you got to sacrifice for new, and where else were they going to do with it? So like
I knew from the get, like whether it was Villains Land or whatever was going to. I knew that an expansion of Magic Kingdom was going to cause the island and the rivers to go away.
You got it.
There's just no way, unless you build a bridge over everything. There's no way.
Exactly.
And that's not maximizing the space, so they would never do that because not maximizing the space is losing money.
No, exactly. And I'm, I know you and I have kind of talked about this like off camera, but like, we kind of joked about it, I should say. So I'm still trying to figure out how Cars fits into Frontierland, just because it's two kind of different eras,
Yeah.
So it's like,
I mean, you have to know like the Disney way. It's going to be New Frontierland.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems like they were trying to like make some whole different like Cars story. Like to me, from the concept, I don't see like the Lightning McQueen, the whole storyline. It looks like it's going to be a new storyline to me.
Sure. So maybe it will line up with it. Who knows? I'm sitting here trying to think. It's
but
like.
Then again, the kids want to see Lightning McQueen.
You got
it. So if they don't put that in, then how's it going to work? Because
exactly, you'll be letting down the audience that makes you the most money. The children.
Yeah. But I mean, all you can do is really wait and see what happens.
Yeah. Exactly.
But
I've been trying to kind of puzzle it myself is because like you have Tiana's that just got renovated for Splash Mountain, so that kind of took away from Frontierland.
Yeah.
Really, all that's kind of left is you have the one strip, and then you have Big Thunder Mountain, and then now it's gonna be Cars Land. So it's like, is there something else that they're not telling? Like, yeah, I know I kind of spitballed this to you or not, but are they going to be rethinning Big Thunder eventually?
I really hope not, because I love Big Thunder, and
Me too, but
I
that's the
would
only
be
thing I can think of.
devastated.
You know, it's just so random. You know, with putting cars there. Like, I get it. You know, it's like, you know, Western and, you know, for cars with set. You know, but like, I
But
just
they're different
in my
eras.
mind I'm trying to exactly like
Yeah.
in my mind I'm trying to picture how they're going to intertwine the two. You know, so like it's
I
I'll
will
wait and see,
say,
you know.
it'll be sad not being able to walk on like that boardwalk in Liberty Square
Sure,
anymore
sure.
along the river. I feel like the sight lines I just don't see how the sight lines will be fixed.
Yeah.
Because I mean, you used to be able to see the Haunted Mansion on the water.
Yep.
You used to, from Big Thunder Mountain, you could see all of Liberty Square reflecting on the water. So to me, I just don't see the fit, and I'm not going to make any judgments until I see the final product. Like, the thing about the
Sure,
concept art they've released, it looks too blue skyish to me. Like,
exactly.
I don't
Yep.
see enough detail to help me understand everything. I see a lot of greenery, so maybe they're going to use the greenery to kind of hide everything. But again, at the end of the day, we won't know anything until they do it, and so I have to reserve judgment for that.
Well, hopefully it's not on the construction timeline of what they do with Epcot with a few gardens and 2 benches. It took 5 years, so
No thanks. But
uh,
another big debate with all of these announcements, if we're going back to Hollywood Studios, where is Monsters Inc. going?
this is I think Animation Courtyard is my guess.
That is where I think it should go.
I think
I
if we
think
had to pick a place, I think that's where it should go. I agree. I think
I-
that's where it fit perfect, in my opinion.
I honestly do think that the original plan was to put it where Muppets Land is, if you look at the concept art.
I agree.
But now I think that they're kind of walking that back after all the uproar, because, I mean, how can you get rid of Muppets 3D? I mean, it is Jim Henson's last piece of work.
Exactly.
It's history.
Yep. I agree. I think there'd be there's a lot of fans out there for Muppets, so, you know, I don't know. I hope it's not there. My guts tell me I have a feeling it could be over there, just because of like how silent they've been, where they said they haven't mentioned where they're putting it. So I wonder if they're backpedaling at this point.
I think it fits in that area, because you got Pixar, you've got Toy Story, and then if you put Monstropolis there, then it kind of ties that corner of the park in.
Absolutely, and it will help create that like circle atmosphere.
Yeah, and what would be cool is taking the concept of the portals from Epic Universe and having another entrance into Toy Story Land, but you're going through a door in Monstropolis, and you see where I'm going? You walk through a door, and it takes you to Toy Story Land.
That would be really cool, actually.
So I think
honestly, I hope that's where they go with it. I hope so. You know, but we've seen them make some questionable decisions.
I mean, when I posted a video when I was doing like the "Give me a second, I need to get my," because I said when Disney Imagineers can't figure out, I have to come where everything's going to go. One of my followers said that cast members have been ordered, or employees have been ordered to vacate the offices behind Launch Bay to the right of Toy Story. So hopefully that means that that's where it's going.
What you're saying is there's hope.
There's hope. I mean, it'll be sad because, again, that is a piece of history, but they didn't do anything to preserve that history. They made it a Star Wars meet and greet.
Exactly. Which I wouldn't be mad. Just move it.
No.
You know, like,
I mean, I love Star Wars, but I don't need Star Wars on two different sides of the park. I think that
exactly. It'd be finally time to kind of get Star Wars centralized in where it needs to be.
Actually, three sides of the park have different Star Wars.
Yeah, I was gonna say, because you have Star Tours that's not even in Galaxy's Edge. You have Galaxy's Edge, and then Launch Bay. So
I think it makes sense. I think it makes sense to put Monstropolis where Animation Courtyard is. Now, I know that they just announced a new show, Little Mermaid show.
Yes. Yeah, that's another good point.
But Kite Tales lasted less than a year, so it's not like Disney
Exactly.
hasn't done stuff in the past where they've like, okay, this is brand new, but we're gonna axe it.
Exactly. And I wouldn't be mad if it gets hacked. Like because I'd rather see it go there than anywhere else.
I mean, I guess you could all, depending on the size, you could also keep Animation Courtyard as is, and then
Yeah.
kind of retheme it
Now,
so that it's like an entrance into Monstropolis.
Yep.
And then
Now what
kind of
about
block
this
out.
one though? What about retheming Rock and Roller Coaster?
The only retheme to Rock and Roller Coaster I will support is the Goofy movie.
That's
If it's
actually
not
a good idea.
themed to Powerline Max with Eye to Eye, I don't want it.
That's awesome. That's great. Well, because the reason why I say that for that area because now if Cars is moving over to Magic Kingdom, you don't need Lightning McQueen's First Academy over there. Rock and Roller Coaster now is starting to become dated now that Aerosmith is retiring because Steven Tyler's voice issues. So no one's really gonna know who he is, especially the younger generation. So it's like,
and I do know that
don't get me wrong, but
that ride system is pretty old too.
Exactly.
So eventually, it's going to need a retrack.
You got it.
So I feel like at the point that it needs a retrack, I think that's when they will make a decision on a retheme.
Hopefully.
Because I mean, in order to retrack, you take all the old track out, you put new track in.
Yep.
So exactly. That's the perfect long-term refurbishment that they can retheme the ride.
You got it.
But I mean, the thing about D23 is they get us all hyped on these, and then that's it. They don't really give us concrete things because look what they did to Epcot.
Exactly. But they did say though that everything that they're announcing is set in motion.
So, but that doesn't mean the concept art is going to stay the same.
That's a fair point. That's fair.
Because we went from an elevated festival pavilion at Epcot to Communicore Hall.
That's fair. That's fair.
So I guess we'll have to wait and see until construction is halfway through, and then they're like, "Oh, by the way."
Just kidding. We're just giving you a few benches and a couple gardens.
But Walt Disney World wasn't the only place to get some awesome announcements. Disneyland, we've got, let's see, my handy dandy list.
There's a ton going there.
We got Avatar Land.
Avatar
that one's going to be to the Way of Water.
Yep.
We have the Coco ride.
Yep. That could be cool.
Yep. They're going to have the new Walt animatronic added.
That'd be really cool too.
And the two new Avengers rides.
Yeah, because they're doubling the size of Avengers Campus,
Yep.
right?
What do you think of those announcements?
I think it's going to make Disneyland a week vacation.
A week. Yeah, I can see that.
Because you can probably get Disneyland now down in 3 days. So I think what they're adding.
We did 3 days. Yeah.
I think it's going to attract more people that's just not locals and who are pass holders that are local areas. So I think it's actually going to be a good change for them.
Now I want to say I won't visit again until those are done.
Correct. Yeah,
just
I agree.
Like budgeting wise, but
yep.
I kind of, depending on when the Walt animatronic opens, I really want to see that before anything
really
else.
Cool.
Yeah,
that's gonna be really cool.
And I know I see some people like, oh, that's a disgrace or blah blah blah. I disagree. I think that's honoring his legacy. That if they do it right,
exactly. If
they do it right, I want to say
correct. Yep.
It's honoring his legacy.
Exactly, I agree.
It's no different than the Hall of Presidents. I mean, you're honoring them.
Exactly.
So having Walt up there talking to guests at his park, I mean, it kind of gives me chills.
I agree. Yep, I'm for it. I'm not mad at that.
But
I'm mad at it.
I love Avatar, the movies, so
yes,
I can't wait for that to be done. I mean, based on the concept art, I'll throw that up here somewhere.
Yeah.
The concept art looks incredible.
It sure does.
If I remember correctly,
it's be different too from what is at World. So.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, it's going to be themed to the Way of Water, and then the third and fourth movies will have aspects in there.
Yep.
which kind of leads me to believe that won't open until after the third movie is released.
Yeah, which is what, 20,
6, I think.
26, I think so, somewhere around there.
Yeah, it was supposed to be next year, but I think it got pushed to 26.
I think it did. I think it got pushed a year. Then the fourth one will be 27, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, and then the fifth one I think was like 29 or 30.
Something like that. Yeah.
Yep. But I think that kind of helps us get a timeline for that opening.
Yes.
Because, I mean, other than the concept art, they haven't announced where it's going to go or if it's going to be part of Disneyland Forward. Yep. But I definitely will visit for that. Yeah, definitely for Avengers Campus.
Yeah.
The Tony Stark ride. What do you think about that?
Can't wait.
It reminds me of the ride system for Forbidden Journey with the robot arms.
Yep.
So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, it looks like both of those new rides are using Universal technology.
Exactly.
It looks like the Infinity Defense, I think it was called, looks like that's going to be like the Transformers and Spider-Man type of ride.
Yes.
And then the Flight Lab is Forbidden Journey.
Yep. No, I'm excited for it. I think there's going to be some really good changes coming to Disneyland. Much needed changes, too. I think it needed some growth.
Yeah, for someone who's never been to Disneyland, I went for the first time in May, as you know. We talked about it last episode. I loved like the old part of the park, but I felt like there wasn't a lot of change. Like, I'm surprised they didn't announce anything for Tomorrowland. All my Disneyland local friends were saying that they were hoping for an announcement there.
That's very true.
Like the People Mover, I know that you would need to do an entire rehaul of Tomorrowland, so I guess I can see that if they're going to be closing other parts of the park to build these new things, I guess it doesn't make sense to also close Tomorrowland. But I still think Tomorrowland deserved its overhaul.
That's true. I mean, maybe, who knows? But I think a Tomorrowland project would be more for fan things. I think what they announced is they're trying to draw the movie fans in, if that makes sense. So like a lot of them are made for like Disneyland is like, Avatar base, Marvel base, things like that. That's going to capture maybe new audiences that wouldn't necessarily go to a theme park, maybe. So like they're trying to figure out how they're going to make money from Disneyland, because California, really their biggest revenue stream is their residents, and most of them are annual pass holders. So like, there's room for growth for money.
And it's way more expensive than a trip to Disney World.
Way more. Yes, it is.
And it's only going to get worse with these additions.
You got it. Yep. You got
it. Which is shocking because to me, I was like, oh yeah, Disneyland it should be less, right? No.
No, it's like, sure not.
The prices for the Disneyland hotels are crazy.
Yes.
The Disney-owned hotels.
Yep.
It's just so crazy to me. But that's enough for Disneyland. I mean, we had a few announcements for there, but overseas, we got a pretty awesome announcement.
The Lion King?
The Lion King.
I'm happy about the things that are announced stateside, but it's like, why does everyone else get all the cool stuff?
What?
Why
couldn't I get a Lion King attraction at Animal Kingdom?
Yeah. Remember, this is going back to like our second episode. I said that about Animal Kingdom, didn't I? I said that. Why can't they have a Lion King attraction? It's like they listen to me somehow, I guess. But
wrong park. But
wrong park.
It looks like it's going to be a Splash Mountain type ride.
Yeah.
But I mean, themed to Lion King, that has to be awesome. Because
cool.
The ride is going to end with Circle of Life. Like when it goes into the big scene, it's going to be the Circle. What else did we get overseas? The Spider-Man ride.
Yes.
It's a coaster, I think. Well, we had two announcements, didn't we? For overseas Spider-Man?
I believe it's a coaster. I'm pretty sure it's a coaster.
That looks sick. I know. It's so sad because, like, the parks are run. I mean, at least Tokyo is run by a separate company.
Yes. Yep.
Everything there is amazing. It's definitely on my bucket list to visit. I definitely have to go to Paris now that the Lion King was announced.
Yeah.
Like, once that's built, I guess we're taking a trip to Paris.
Yep, Paris and Tokyo. Yeah, those are like two must-like places to visit. It's like I'd go to Tokyo now, honestly.
Yeah,
You know,
well,
like, that's,
definitely. Tokyo is definitely on my bucket list. It's just out of budget right now.
yes, it's
The
expensive.
airline specifically is
Yes.
crazy
Yep.
to Tokyo. But, I mean, if we're talking about overseas, we have to talk about the high seas, right?
Yes.
Now, we've got some announcements after D23, but at D23 they announced 4 new ships.
Yes, which is huge.
Now, I think that they're either going to be Wish class ships, or if the Disney Adventure, the mega ship they bought, does well, I wouldn't be surprised if those 4 new ships are mega ships.
I agree. I think they're trying to expand their what's the word I'm looking for here? I think they're trying to compete with Royal Caribbean.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that they're trying to, because you have the
Women,
Oasis
at
classes,
least.
the Oasis classes for Royal Caribbean, and then you have the Icon classes.
Yep.
So I really think that they're trying to kind of tap into that market
I agree.
somehow.
Yep.
And the concept art for that they released for the Disney Adventure looks pretty cool.
No, it definitely does. Yeah, no, for sure. I'm excited for it. I mean, I was reading like some people are up in arms, like, let's say you kind of just put that money into the parks, and it's just like, but
They're separate companies.
they're separate companies and free. You need to keep up with, like you either keep up or you fall behind, in the
So
cruising industry. So
basically, the way it works is the Disney company is the
yes.
umbrella,
Yep.
and then you have the side company, so the parks and resorts, the
Exactly.
animation
Yep.
studios, the movie studios, Pixar. It's all connects to
All
the
separate.
Disney company. But when the movies bomb, they take the money from the parks to recover their losses on the movie. If the cruise is doing well, they can take money from the cruise and pump that into the parks.
You got it.
So this should be celebrated because we all know how expensive Disney cruises are.
You got it, which means that they're doing well.
They're doing well and they're making a huge profit. I mean, I'm not afraid to call it a cruise line. I mean, they're jacking up prices because they can, because people will pay them.
Oh, absolutely. Yep.
There's no change in operating costs. Like, they're jacking up their prices because people continue to pay them. I mean, I didn't go on a cruise this year because I don't feel like paying for jacked up prices. So the record high profits that the cruise lines are making are going to be poured into this. I feel like that's what's going to be used to fund all the improvements to the parks. So it should be a celebrated change.
No, I agree. Absolutely. And I think it's relatively going to be pretty cool. I think it's going to be different. A different experience, different, way of doing things. I just wonder, like you said, what kind of class of ship it's going to be, and what are they going to entail? Like, how are you going to attract people away from Royal Caribbean to make it like something?
Right.
I don't want to say similar, because you're not going to make it similar.
It's a whole different. It's a whole different
entity. Like, it's cruising, but like anyone who's a big cruiser and watches our podcast, they know that like if you're cruising with New Orleans, you get the New Orleans way. If you're cruising with Royal Caribbean, you get the Royal Caribbean way. Right. So it's like just because you're cruising, it's a different experience all around wherever you're going. But
right, exactly. And I don't think that Disney wants to try and be Royal Caribbean. I think that they want to attract the families that have been going on Royal Caribbean back to the Disney Cruise Line.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly.
And so I think that it's probably a good decision for Disney.
Yeah, for sure.
But I guess we'll just have to wait and play out, because I think the first ship won't launch until 27. So
yeah,
if I remember the announcement correctly.
I think it's 20. I think they said 27 through what?
31.
31, 32, somewhere around there.
27 to 31.
27 to 31. I got you. Okay, yep. So yeah, so like what? 4-year span?
Yeah.
So they ship each year?
That's what it seems like.
Which means that they're probably, my guess would be they're almost in production with them. Would be my guess.
My guess, okay.
Soon?
All right, we have, I think once the Treasure is launched, the Destiny starts getting built, they'll probably lay the keel for the first one next.
Gotcha.
Probably 20, if it's a mega ship, 25. If it's not a mega ship, probably 26. So I guess that'll be our tell. If they start building it in 25, then it's probably a mega ship.
That's a good point.
If it's 26, it's probably another Wish class.
Gotcha.
But, I mean, there was plenty of amazing announcements that even I went in thinking that we were just going to be blindsided that they were going to announce a bunch of dumb stuff that no one would care about. I mean, the fact that they wouldn't live stream it this year is what made me like. It was like they kind of were getting our hopes down.
Yep.
But shout out to all the people that live streamed it anyways.
Seriously, yeah.
You're a real one. Because it was very helpful to not have to see things that from after the fact. Yeah, especially as a content creator, I'm like, seriously, you're gonna make me wait? But I'm appreciative of all the people that put themselves up there to live stream for us.
You know, Disney. Hear my point here, and I want royalties for this. You know, if you didn't live stream it, fine. Literally, you can make more money off of it if you want to. How about you live stream it on Disney Plus?
Right.
It will attract customers.
Do you know how many people would have signed up for Disney Plus to watch it?
For that. So
they may have canceled in a month. They may have canceled in a month, but you would have had record profit in that 1 month for Disney Plus.
So come on, listen here.
But I guess coming full circle to Walt Disney World. What are your top 5 announcements?
Villains.
Okay.
Villains is number 1 for me. I've been saying this for many years. I was hoping that Villains would have been a separate part.
I agree.
That's an argument for a different day. But definitely excited for Villains. I'm excited for Andy's coming to Animal Kingdom. I'm actually very excited for that, actually. I'd say last I'm excited about is Cars.
Yep.
Just because I like Cars out in Disneyland, but I'm skeptical of
on the fence.
Concept. Yeah, I'm on the fence about it. Okay, what else? I'm blanking at the second. I'm missing 2, right?
Well, you can also pick from the smaller announcements too.
True. The nighttime parade.
Yep.
Yeah, that's the other one. Yes, that's huge. That's gonna be a big one. That's been asked for a long time again to have that come back. So that's gonna be awesome. What was 4? What about you? What are you looking forward to?
Okay. Villains Land, obviously.
Yes. Yep.
The nighttime show.
Yep.
The nighttime parade, I should say.
Yep.
I am excited for Monsters Inc.
Oh, Monsters! I'm blanking on it. Yeah, that's top 5 there. Okay. Yes.
Monsters Inc. Like you, I'm on the fence with Cars Land, so I'm probably not going to put it in my top 5 right away. But I will put Tropical Americas in my top 5.
Yes.
Again, I'm super sad about Dinosaur. I used to spend so much time there as a kid when the world was there. But I think that they've neglected that area so much that it's a welcome change.
Yeah, it needs help.
Yeah.
For being nice.
And this may sound stupid, like for things to get excited about, but I'm excited for the Pirates of the Caribbean Lounge.
I forgot about that. We haven't even talked about that yet. Yes.
Actually, I'll put both lounges, the Spaceship Earth and the Pirates Lounge.
We knew about the Pirates Lounge coming, but the Spaceship Earth Lounge, I thought was an excellent addition.
Yeah. I mean, I think that'll be like a cool atmosphere. And sometimes when I have to get work done, I like to just chill in a resort lobby or chill in the park. Like Epcot's new edition is kind of perfect when you have to work from home.
Sure.
So the Spaceship Earth Lounge is probably going to be a place that I hang out in. And I love Pirates of the Caribbean, so just having another Pirates theme thing is awesome.
Yep, that's going to be so cool. I can't wait for that, actually.
I hope that actually happens kind of fast.
I wouldn't see why. I mean,
I feel like those out of all the announcements, I feel like besides like the ones that they already gave us dates for,
sure.
I feel like those 2 will be the first.
Yeah, I agree. I think this would be the easiest to do, honestly, to knock those out. And then, I think after that would be what? Animal Kingdom, right? Because they already said Zootopia is coming next year.
Yeah, Zootopia. Did I write it down? I think Zootopia was winter 25. I think they said
winter 2025
or something like that.
Yep.
And then the Magic Kingdom Parade, I think, was soon.
I think that was 25 as well.
Was it? Maybe that was summer 25.
Summer 2025, and then I believe, Animal Kingdom, the new land coming to Animal Kingdom. I believe it's 27.
Yeah, it's 2027. It's gonna open. It's gonna close and open in phases. I think is what he said.
Yes, because I think Dinosaur will be the last thing that goes.
Dinosaur will be the last time they close. Yeah, and I think so. I think that they mean the land will fully open in 27,
Yeah,
Because
yeah.
if they only opened phase 1 in 2027 and then I feel like that's
That's kind of pushing it. And then we're looking
yeah.
at like 2031 for it to be completed.
Yeah. So I think that the 2027 date, because honestly, it's a lot of Earth pushing
Yeah, I
to,
agree. Yeah.
and I really think that they'll probably utilize a lot of existing infrastructure that's
Sure.
in the area. So I think that it'll be okay. Like I wouldn't be surprised if they take out where the games are, where the world used to be first.
Yep,
I wouldn't be surprised if that's phase 1,
that's
and
true.
then
Yep.
phase 2 is the rest of it, where like the restaurant Tauruses, Chester Hester's treasures and all that.
And if you look at the concept art too, it looks like some of the buildings are staying. Like
Yeah,
there's looks like they're just refurbing them, like
yeah,
repurposing them. So
kind of like what they did with Ellen.
exactly. Yep.
They built the new building for the ride,
Yep.
but Ellen, like where Ellen used to be, is the whole pre-show.
Correct.
So I honestly, in my opinion, don't think that I think that we'll probably get 26 and 27 as the openings for the new land.
No, I agree.
I think that's probably a more realistic timeline. I think 27 has to be the end, the final amount of
Yeah.
construction
Yep.
when
Yep.
Indiana Jones opens.
And then hopefully shortly after, I think I wonder if Magic Kingdom will be on its way.
My guess is 28, 29 for Cars,
Somewhere around there.
29, 20, 30 for Villains.
Yep. It's just so far away.
For
crazy.
Monsters, I'm thinking is 29, 28,
Yeah.
29.
Like perspective though, like that timeline there, because like think about what Epic Universe just did with Epic Universe in the short amount of time they built the whole brand new park, you know. So it's like,
let me put this into
geez.
perspective for everybody. We just had the 2024 Olympics.
Literally.
By the time Monsters, Cars, and Villains opens, you would have seen 2 Olympics.
Yeah,
26 and 28.
Well, they do put their everything into it, so I will.
I'll reserve judgment until the final product is delivered.
Yep. I agree.
But I mean, I think that was pretty. I think we pretty much covered everything. But I didn't ask you this question. What are you not looking forward to the most?
Oh.
It could be a movie too. We kind of neglected the movies, but
yeah. If I'm being honest, I'm gonna stick to my guns and say Cars. I want to say that I'm not looking forward to it. I'm skeptical at the moment. Now, if we're talking movies, I'm actually pretty excited from what they've announced.
Yeah.
For movies, I wasn't really too let down for anything. I'm on team Robert Downey Jr. playing Doctor Doom.
Yeah.
I think that's gonna be awesome. Like I think that was such a cool announcement.
I'm on 50-50 with that though. Like I'm okay with it if it's him playing the character. If it's Correct. A Tony Stark variant, I'm going to be upset about that.
Correct. Well, from what they're saying, because how he mentioned it, where it's different mask, same path, is pretty much how he said it. So I wonder, because alter ego. So I wonder if it's going to be what's the word I'm looking for here?
It would be funny if it's just like a 30-second cameo as
that would be so funny. That was it.
But I think we won't find out until Secret War. No,
is
that right?
2027, I believe.
2027.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think so. But there's what comes out in 25? It's what Avengers is that? It's
You're asking the wrong person. I completely blanked. I'm blanking.
I forget. But there's one in 2025 and then 2027. And
yes.
they're also being written by
the Russo brothers.
Yeah, right? They're the brothers. Yep. So they're coming back for it, which is awesome. Which they're going to do it justice.
They'll do a good job. Yeah.
Minus Game of Thrones. We won't talk about that today, but
yeah, we won't talk about that. That's a whole other episode. But I think, I mean, I'll speak on that for a second. I think that the cast were just tired and they wanted to end, from what I read. But yeah, we won't get into that.
Tough. To Harrington. Tough.
But I mean, for me, I think the least thing I kind of have to sort of agree with you on Cars. I was excited at first when they first announced it. I was like, yeah, finally. And then when the concept
Find the
art came
location.
out, the location came out. I'm kind of skeptical and on the fence like you.
It's not that I'm not excited for Cars coming. I'm just skeptical of where it's going. I'm just
Right.
trying to figure out how it's going to fit the theme. But like,
Right.
there's already so much going on, with that. So it's like, how are you going to fit in all those lands to tie into Cars? So
Right.
it's like, that's what I'm skeptical about. Like, I wonder if it's just going to be like one of those, like, I'm just scared, like, you're going to walk through it, like, oh, let's go. Oh, yep, here's Cars.
I'm sure. I'm hoping that they'll surprise us with the site. I think my biggest issue is the Magic Kingdom sightlines.
Yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's like, that's why I'm skeptical. I just don't know how it's going to get tied into it. So I'm not disappointed that they're disappearing things. Like, I'm not like bummed out about Tom Sawyer's Island or anything like that. I'm just more skeptical of how it's going to work, if that makes sense.
What else? Oh, for movies. I'm not a huge fan of all the sequels that they've been announcing.
Yes.
Like, I was sure of some of them, but did we really need a Frozen 3?
That's a money grab. That's what I call a money grab.
I mean, I wish that Pixar had a few more originals announced.
Yep.
So much.
And Toy Story 5 too. I think it's a
yeah. I mean, I was a kid when 3 came out, and I was like, okay, this is the end. This is the perfect send off.
Let it go. Yep.
And then they were like, surprise!
It's fading. Like, I think they're just trying to keep it relevant because they have the land now. So it's like, I don't know. I mean, you know me. It's like Pokemon is Buzz Life. I have Buzz Lightyear tattooed on me. So like, but for them to kind of just keep pumping. I still don't know how it's gonna. I'm like, I don't know. When's enough of this?
Right. But just let them retire. But
I mean, glad it's the same cast. Don't get me wrong. But like, at least it's not like a remake. Where it's
right,
like they're
exactly.
butchering it. So it's like it's original. People.
No live action Toy Story.
Yeah, imagine original cast too. Actually, I'd take Tom Hanks and take Tom Hanks in anything, honestly.
That would be a very interesting movie. But yep, I mean, I think we pretty much covered everything theme park wise.
Yeah.
I
think so.
So, I think this would be a good place to just thank everyone for tuning in to season 2. Thank you for all the feedback on our last episode. It means the world to us. You can find us on all social media platforms, in the parks _pod. And then I am Josh in the parks on all social media platforms, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, and Pinterest. If you're on Pinterest, I post sometimes. And then we have our lovely Jerry.
Yeah, you can find me at It's a Bug Life on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I don't do too much on YouTube just yet, but definitely Instagram and TikTok, things like that. And then, like Josh said, thanks for the feedback, and thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to share, comment, subscribe for us, help us grow. Really do appreciate it.
Again, thank you for tuning in. So put your hands up because the lap bars are coming up. Thank you.